does it say now? It will take 20 seconds. Now live, security alert. Okay. How's the quality? Test 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. How's the quality? Test 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. God, quality is shit. Okay. Fantastic. Quality is shit. Okay. Fantastic. And this one I don't even hear. Okay, let's see what we can do. So the problem is that it's picking up my replay as well. So noise cancellation not working great. The microphone quality is awful. I did put up a filter for this. I'm not sure whether that's what's messing with this. So I'm gonna remove that. We'll see how that works. Whether it's the actual microphone. It can't be wind noise because I'm inside, obviously. So it's got to be something else. How about I listen to you now? Alright. Let's see. Oh, we've got you open. And I can refresh you and have a look. Right, let's put on this and let's check the actual output. Give this to me, have a live look for this, and we shall see. I'm not interested in the. Oh, okay, well let's hop over here and let's have a look. Okay, that sounds awful. Oh, that's the reason. Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now let's wait for a second so that I can actually hear what I'm doing. What's the delay that's currently set up? Yeah, that's a lot better. All right. I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to have to check the delay. The delay is in here or in here? No, it must be in here. Audio bitrate. Replay, no. Video, no. Hotkeys, no. Stream, no. Where is it? Where is it? I can't find it. Advanced? It's in here. It's off. It's in here. have a delay, like obviously. Okay, I'm gonna have to play around with that. At one point I'm gonna have to look around for that. Alright, for the time being, let's continue with our actual content that we want to have a look at. So, for the time being, my goal for today is to set up the new hardware, which we have here, install that, and then we will have a look and install that into the PC case. Once that is done, we are in fact done. Gonna need this at some point. I will use the default thermal paste. I don't have anything special prepared now. We will have another fan. I did unbox this already because I had to make sure that it wasn't damaged, because the box was damaged in shipping. Always nice to see when the company that I ordered this from was disappointing in almost all respects. This was supposed to take no more than a week, so we're talking three to 4 days until it's ready to ship, and then 2 to 3 days to ship, which would have been moving the button still image shooting is this mode is only available mode other than movie mode. Okay. Yeah, using the company that shipped this should have taken, like, what's that in total? 5 to 7 days. So a week essentially. I had to wait 2.5 weeks for this. Admittedly, there were holidays in between there, so 2 days of that would have been acceptable. So slightly more than a week would have been acceptable. 2 weeks is not. And yeah, 2.5 weeks especially isn't. So it then arrived squished. They said they had this in stock at multiple locations, but they still needed almost 2 weeks to get this ready to ship, and then it took another 3 days to actually arrive. So I'm less than happy with them. That being said, it finally did arrive. I then realized when I put up my this workspace to actually do stuff in, I realized that I didn't have any audio equipment unless I wanted to displace my my streaming microphone to this work table, which I didn't want, because then I'd have to do that every time. So I didn't. I just ordered some lav mics, in this case the Rode, what are they called? This guy, the Rode Micro, and I went with that. It's working out of the box, didn't have to do much. The problem is that the audio problem that you heard earlier was me setting up the audio input twice, because the camera input that I'm using accepts a secondary audio override, and I put the Voicemod in there, and then you have the Voicemod mic that I activated, which of course put the Voicemod mic in there. So good job me. What do we have here? Well, we've got the fan, which I've already unboxed, as I said. We got the Rockstrix some numbers gaming Wi-Fi whatever motherboard. From what I've seen, it's very good. It's an AM5 socket. We've got the Ryzen 7 9000. Can't remember what it was. 9800. Yeah, 9800. So that should be good. That's an AM5 socket. So should fit. And yeah, some DDR5 memory, because the old one was DDR4. The old one was an AM, I think it was an AM4 socket. We're gonna have a look at a moment when we dismount the stuff from the old PC. We got a couple of NVMe's that will go in here, the main hard drive and two, well, I say hard drive, the main disk and two secondary disks. And that's it pretty much. So, goal for today. Get everything mounted, get everything hardware side set up, and afterwards we will have to, this I'm going to do offline because it's not really anything to look at. I'm gonna have to install, well, transfer the old operating system to the new hardware, which will be interesting. I tried doing this beforehand. Some of you might have noticed this one came with a cooler. I was hoping that it would not be mounted. Unfortunately it was. So I actually had to disassemble it and dismount the cooler, which was fun. Gonna put that to the side, that comes last pretty much. They're gonna be mounted on the board right away, but that will be last. These guys, again, for later, we're gonna start with these two because it's CPU first. I guess afterwards memory, probably, because the cooler might get in the way. We're gonna check whether that is the case. It should be fitting because it only goes out to those brackets. Again, we'll see. So let's start with that. All right. Let's get that out. And let's get that out here. Set that to the side a little bit and let's have a look. Right. We've got a bunch of cables. That's the Wi-Fi antenna, which we probably will never use. And the main board. And below the main board we have some additional stuff. I've already checked with the instructions. This I don't know why. I mean, okay, it's packaging, but why does it have to be so narrow that I can't actually go beyond this? Let's put that to the side as well. Now, a lot of people will tell you that you need to have like specialty equipment to not damage your high-end hardware, and that was true in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. So what else do we have in here? We've got some NVMe stuff, so that's good. Some cardboard, some add-ons that we probably will never use, some stickers, because that's important obviously, some card, whatever that does. LDPE4 plastic collection. Right. Not quite sure what that is for. Does it come with instructions for these? And why is it only including one? It's got 3 slots. Well, that's a good start. I do have some left, but I think it's only enough for 1. It might be enough for 2. We'll have to see. The instructions are... well, let's say they're not particularly extensive. What do we have here? Step 1, install CPU. Step 2, install CPU fan. Install memory, install storage devices. Guess what they haven't listed? The storage devices. Like, I've got visual instructions for everything, including the fan. Yeah. Okay, everything that I need to connect. Alright, that's good. Am I missing something? No, it's just not here. Yeah, the step 4 has no... Sorry, the step 4 has no visual instructions. Okay, well... We'll see how that goes. I think I'm going to leave that to the side over here. This I will probably never use. Why? Like, why? Why do I need that? Right. I've got no idea what these are. It doesn't tell you, there's no instructions for them. Well, that's not entirely true, hang on. Because that was just the quick start guide. Maybe they've put something in the actual instructions. Let's have a look. Installation tools and components. SSD module, optional. Graphics card, optional. Not wrong. Optical drive, optional. Is that a hard disk drive? Technically I do have one. Let's see, chapter 1, CPU socket, DIMM slots, expansion slots, fan and pumps, power connectors, M2 slots. No instructions. Sharing bandwidth with the PCIe RAID 0 and 1. No. With the PCIe 4.0 times 16 slots. Which is the lower one, if I remember correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have not actually... They've numbered them, but they didn't tell us what they are. There we are. This is 3 expansion slots. Thank you. Thank you for those deep and detailed instructions. Don't tell me that this is actually... that this shares bandwidth with the graphics card. That would be stupid. It should be the short ones, right? Where was I? Supports that mode. All are M-key design. Purchased separately. RAID expert. The M2.3, so socket 3, shares bandwidth with the PCIe 4.0 times 16. If that is the lower full length one, that is okay. Ah, here it is. Yeah, it is the lower full length one. That's a bit shit, but okay, I can live with that. I don't plan to have an expansion card there. I thought it was one of the short ones. So again, let's come back to this. Touching the equipment, be careful, yes. It's not as sensitive as it once was, but if you are wearing, if you're walking around and you're, every time that you touch something metal, you're getting a zap, you might want to ground yourself before you start working on this one. So that's what I just did. I touched the radiator in my room. Yes, we have radiators in the rooms in Germany. They are all grounded. And now I can go in here. I'm not touching any active electronic. Now on the back there are pins, so I'm a bit careful with that. I'm putting that down on this one because I don't know what the table is made of, like the surfacing. So I'm being careful with that. That's all you need to do. I do have a grounding stuff here if I wanted to. I do not. All right, I'm gonna peel these off before I put it inside. Maybe these even after, but we'll see. Let's start with the CPU then. That's step one after all. Let's start in the beginning and then go towards the end. I need something to open this. Where's my knife? Have this, and let's open this up. All right. Already some stuff that I need to remember. Working in the center of this table is fairly big for what the camera can see, at least. So working in the center of this table is a little bit of a stretch, so I really would like to avoid that in the future. Might have to set this up slightly differently. Okay, that's not quite what I had planned. It's a lot stickier than I expected. All right. That's an interesting design. There's some explanation here, probably the same ones that I have outside of this, so that goes away. And away it goes. And now, let's open this one up. So there are some alignments to be respected when it comes to CPUs. It's not witchcraft, gotta be honest. Played around with plastic, so grounded myself again, just in case. So, this goes up. This is actually quite easy to install. Again, nothing too serious about this. Normally you can take the writing should be aligned. That's a big hint. But normally there should also be a corner. In this case, you can see that this corner is cut off, and there's a triangle up here. I've got a triangle on this one, on the CPU. Put that in carefully. Make sure that it's sitting sound. And now they're telling me that the first thing I should do is lock it down. Really? That will pop this out, won't it? Is that not in the way? Yeah, align the corner up there. Align those notches. Align that corner. Those were the hints. Then put this down. Yeah, this pops out this thing immediately. Does this not sit properly in here? Remember not to put myself in the frame. No, it does align. It does align. This sits flush. It doesn't sink in anymore. It's the correct socket, so I'm going to assume that they know what they're doing. So, sure, let's go with that. And let's pop that down here. This had popped out already. Interesting that it does require this much pressure. That can go away now. All right, next thing, the cooler. Now, we need some thermal paste. This one came with the cooler. We've got our cooler. We're gonna check that this actually does fit before we try to install it. Ow! That was the edge of the table. Nice. All right, so will it fit? Yes, it will. It will fit perfectly. And does that still go past there? Yes, it does. Okay. So, what are they recommending? Type 1, Type 2. We don't need the Type 2, because this comes with the AMD bracket, with the M5 bracket. So we just need to apply the thermal paste and then put on the cooler. Quite important. This is on most coolers, so do remove it before installing. It does say so. Pay attention to that. And yes, it does have exposed heat pipes. This was something that I did pay attention to. It's not that important, but I had the choice between one that had and one that hadn't, so I took the one that had. It improves it slightly, the cooling efficiency, but that's it. All right. So, thermal paste. Am I going to put the trash for this? Should have prepared a trash bag, as I just realized. How much do we need? A bit. I don't think we'll need all of this. We'll see. Well, we might need all of this. Now, there are a couple of things you can do. You can spread this out. I don't believe that is necessary, but it won't hurt either. But if you spread it out, make sure that it does spread out fairly evenly. So the rest will be done by pressure. Some people just like dot it and then what do they actually write about this? I would be very interested in whether they say that you should spread this more or not. It's been a while since I did this. That should be fine. Probably have a little bit more in here. But yeah, that should be more than enough. How much do we actually have still left in here? A bit. Okay. So now that that's done, normally you'd have to decide which way to go. In this case, actually, we want to go that way or that or the other way. We're going to go with that way. Fairly easy decision. And we're gonna be careful that I don't hurt my knee again. So we lock this in here. Push this down here. we make sure that this sits in the center, and we realize that this one is mounted the wrong way around. Fantastic. That's a Phillips. That is indeed a Phillips. All right. So almost paid perfect attention to this. One thing that I missed. So this was detached in the beginning. And apparently someone had screwed it loose, or maybe it was loose to begin with. But one way or another, this should have gone the other way around. Didn't pay attention to that. My mistake. Easy mistake to make. But would have been nice to avoid it. Alright, let's try that again. Slot that in here. Let that sink down. Push that down here. And we are almost done. Just have to screw this down. This is not the right size of Phillips, I have to admit. This is definitely not the right size of Phillips. Are you Phillips? You are a Phillips. Oh. It's not the wrong size of Phillips, that being said. So let's check the alignment of this thing. Looks fairly good. Does that look a little bit off? Let me check from the other side. Can't really see from the other side. Don't want to get into frame. And there's this big cooling block on the way to actually see anything. So fantastic. Let's see from the front. It looks perfectly aligned, to be entirely honest. Looks maybe a little bit off from the front, but only from the front. The rest, from the other perspective, seems perfectly aligned. I might need a different so this is actually acting as a spring, like this bit. So you don't have to be too careful about this. You shouldn't like ram it in like there's no tomorrow. You should also be careful with your screwdriver. Yeah, this actually does slip. Okay, I do need a different one. Give me a moment. Of course, it's not that one. That would be too easy if it was standardized. Far too easy if it was standardized. Let's see, are you in here? You are in here. You are in here. Let's come back. I'm gonna guess it's you that we need. You might not be the right one, actually. Yeah, you're not. I need this one, but without that. It's kind of you. You're also not the right one. Okay. So not this one then. Those tools are actually not here. Sad. Let's see if we can do that. You won't be fitting, that won't be fitting. You definitely won't be fitting. I don't really want to use you, but I don't think that I've got much of a choice here. Let's see, you look like either that one? No, definitely not that one. Maybe this one. Yeah, God. Sure. Of course it's that one. Why not? And because this is spring-loaded, you basically can and should push this, pull this down to the extreme. Because the spring is what's supposed to alleviate this, so that is fine. And now, after we've done this, we realize that there's actually a power cable in there that we should have removed first. Shit. Okay, there we go. CPU fan is up here, and it is a 4-pointer, yeah. Which is actually what it does take, yeah, okay. So this is CPU fan. CPU fan, alright. Good, got that in and mounted, so that's great. We're going to leave the tools out for now, because I'm sure that we'll need them at some point again. Next will be memory. Oh god, it's one of those. Yeah, I love this packaging. If you can't tell, if I do have to say it, that is me being sarcastic. I don't know why. I don't know why they do this. Like, no joke. Up here it says scan for setup. You better do this before you try to unbox it if you need the instructions, because this is going to be awful. Like, there's nothing of this outer packaging being left at the end. Because this plastic goes up to here. So if I rip this apart, and on the other side as well, that's right through the QR code. Brilliant design. Good lord. Yeah, it is fully sealed. Oh, I take everything back. This actually comes out fairly easy. It is still fully sealed, but oh. Alright. I stand corrected. And even this opens fairly easily. Alright. Well, something did happen in the past 10 years, apparently. Good. Now, there are a couple of ways to install memory. We have 2 slots, so we actually have to worry about this. 2 DIMMs. So, which slots do we use? It will be either those two or those two. I don't know which yet. I'm gonna find that out. I'm gonna find that out from the instructions. Because they will tell me which one I should be using first. It's all dependent, like functionally they're all the same. Performance-wise, they're not. Some of those will have shorter lanes to the CPU. And that will impact performance, and they will tell you which ones to use in the instructions. So look it up. It will be different for, can be different for each main board. I think it's standardized. Ah, there we go. Here we are. They tell you if you're only using one, you're using DIMM A2. If you're using two, you're using A2 and B2, so those two. Very easy to mark them. These are the two we're going to use. And if you're using all four, you're using all four. That's it. Okay. And yes, we have to pay attention that the notches are actually compatible. This is a DDR5 board. This is DDR5 RAM. They should be, but you can still install it the wrong way around. So pay attention, please. These come with coolers attached, which make these quite easy to handle because I don't have to pay attention that I don't touch the electronics. I shouldn't touch down here anyway, so I'm keeping my hands off that. If you don't have any coolers on them, these ones are a little bit more delicate, so you don't want to like rub your grease all over them. Outside of that, you should be fine. Again, this, for instance, would be the wrong way around. This looks to be the right way around. Let's see. Well, if I could hit it, that would actually be quite nice. All right, come on, slot in there. Yeah, that looks decent. Doesn't line quite right, which has me worried a little bit. But yeah, this is definitely the wrong way around. Yeah, that's definitely the wrong way around. So, does it tell me anything about how to install these? Let's have a look whether there's any trick in these. Normally, this would slot in first because that doesn't have a thing to open them. If you go back far enough, you would have this type of clip on both sides. Where was I? Memory, DIMMs. Here we are. Doesn't say, doesn't show, doesn't say, doesn't tell me. All right. Anything in these short instructions? They did have some more graphics. That's the wrong side. That's the right side. Nope, nothing on that. All right. So that might just be part of the fixation system. So this might just use a little bit more force than I'm used to. Yeah, it does. Okay. There we go. So that was the left side that just clicked in. You can see that this isn't quite closed yet. So now it is. That's all it takes. Other side as well. Again, line it up the right way around. Actually do line it up. There we go. And then this slots in first. Clicked. And it's closed. There we go. I didn't want to close there, but that should be fine. That's both of those installed. This goes away. Now we come to the fun part, because this we have to unscrew. We've got storage. This looks... Like looks-wise, this mounting bracket is not very nice. Gotta admit. I wish that would look nicer. But you can't have it all. Oh, they included some cable management stuff. They included whatever this is. I have never seen something. I'll show you. This is a very weird construction. I don't know whether it actually focuses on you guys. Let me turn that over a little bit so I can actually see what you guys are seeing. Yeah, this screw, I don't know. I do not know what that is. I'm not going to take it out of the plastic. Never seen that before. Gotta be honest. It looks like a screw that they added extra parts to just to be an ass. But yeah, who knows. We've got more of these. Still don't know what they are. So we have one below this, and I think one below here, which will be a pain to get to after we've installed that. So that will be fun. I might be wrong, because I think one of them went... I thought it was here, and here, but no, that you can't remove. It is this, and that. Okay. Fantastic. Screw-wise, that looks interesting. Let's look at the instructions. Yeah. Remove the screws. I think, no, those are just regular screws. Okay, I need a flathead. I'm gonna use this one because we've got it here. Not because it's nice, because it isn't. Does this actually fit in there? Not really. This kind of does. I hope that these are attached to the heatsink. We have modern systems that actually can keep screws attached to the parts. It's not a difficult one. It's not it's not a new system either. Has been around for quite some time. Well, they come up quite far. I'm using this one as an example to test, just because I can reach this more easily, and I need to do all three of them anyway. How far? Good grief! Oh, I think I know what that screw was. Sorry for not wearing gloves, by the way. Probably should. Can I? Yeah. That is what they are. That's what that weird screw is. We have something there. Oh, fantastic. They come with film on the other side. That is exactly what I was hoping to see. What is that length? Or is that just for the cooler? Yeah, because you can't... I mean, I guess you probably could. It's the same height. Well... I'm gonna... Am I gonna unscrew all of these? No, I'm not gonna unscrew these all at the same time. Because then I'd have to remember which is which. So, yeah. No, not gonna do that. I'm happy if I can bolt it back on the right way around. I'm not gonna make any experiments here. This is the 2 terabyte. It's single side. It's the right way around. These also slightly more delicate in terms of electrostatics, but they generally tend to have areas where you can touch them. Like back here, there's nothing here. I can easily touch them there. They could have made them smaller. They could have actually made them smaller. I don't know why they didn't. Okay, that is neat. I like that. I like that a lot. That is easy to install. All right, sure. Now all we need to do is remove this protective film, and then put that back on, and we should be. Oh, don't pull that off there. Yeah, fat finger problem. Because these are always electrostatic. It doesn't matter here because I'm just gonna put that on there and on the other way around, I suppose. All right. And with that, we just screw it back down and we should be good. With NVMEs, I'm not quite sure what all you have to pay attention to. The one thing that I paid attention to in this case was that they had the right version. So these are PCIe 4 NVMEs, which is what these slots are rated for. And this one will be the this one, which is a PCIe Gen 5, and these others are PCIe Gen 4. So they should be compatible. I tried the PCIe Gen 5 in an external hard drive to try to preload the operating system onto it. Let's just say that was less than successful. Another way to say that is I failed. It didn't want to recognize. It recognized that there was something in there. It didn't want to recognize what it was. These I don't push particularly hard because I don't want to put too much tension on this guy underneath. I will fix it so that it is fixed, so that it doesn't loose. But I'm not gonna stress it out too much. Alright, as we've realized, you can screw these there it was. You screw these for quite a while until it makes a little noise. Come on. Well, that must be loose. It is, yeah. I don't know why it didn't make the noise. Again, on the other side we have this guy. This is again the PCIe 4. The old system has one NVMe as well as a couple of SSDs. I can't remember, this might actually still have an HDD in there somewhere. It's the NVMe plus 3 or 4 disks, I can't remember. It might be 4 disks, and I'm basically, it's like 500 gigabyte main drive, or even 256. It might even be 256. So those are gonna go, well, the operating system on the fast one and everything else on the slower NVMEs. Yes, it is a difference in speed. So put that in there. You don't really need much pressure here, he says as he pushes away the main board. Just leave it at a little bit of an angle. Push it down. Snap it shut. Good. Oh, come up here. So I'm holding in these screws, by the way. Oh no! Ah, they have done right. Okay, so they can't fall out. Great. So now let's remove this one as well. He says and then fumbles it. Oops, this doesn't have a... I would suspect that it's the same shape as this, so it would be this way around. Ow. So we're going to put that in there, and then put that in there. And then both of those slot in, and then we screw them down. So the one thing that I will say that you want to be careful about is what you're doing with your tools. You don't want your tools clattering around on the main board. This one is fairly safe because almost all of it is covered in heatsinks. But other main boards that are more exposed, you really want to be careful with. Are you actually putting any pressure on there? Yeah, you are a little bit. So this will, over time, kind of push into the cooling paste. Should not have done that. It might take a while, but it will. This will be the most interesting one. First of all, this doesn't fit in here, so that's fantastic. And second of all, let's see whether this fits. Whether this actually is able to open it. Seems that way. Yeah, this is a bit of a hassle to get out of here. Again, sausage fest. With my sausage fingers. Alright, so this is going to be the one that I've prepared somewhere. Dang it, it's still mounted in here, isn't it? So I tried mounting it in this, and I think I've had this one for years. I think this was before the PCIe 5 NVMe's came out, so the controller probably doesn't support them. Which isn't a huge deal, it just means that I couldn't use it. I've cleaned it up a little bit. It doesn't look great. I'm not gonna get all the thermal paste out of in between there. What they did is essentially they had... where is it? There we are. They had this guy installed on the other side, and these points is where they put the cooling paste. Well, this one they missed for some reason, by quite a bit. They put dots of cooling paste here, thermal paste here, and then they just pushed that in. And yeah, slight problem. I didn't need that, so all of that is essentially wasted. I had to scrape it. I had to scrape that off, and that was fun. That was a fun couple of minutes to do that. And this is why I'm so excited about this system. Like on this one, I have to loosen the screw. That will then flop this up because this is always under tension to push that out. And unmounting this is okay. Getting that in there, not so much, especially on this one, where it's not meant to be mounted this way. It was a bit of a pain in the behind to actually get this working. Now, this is very interesting because this one has chips on the underside and I have no way to cool those. So that's going to be interesting. I hope this doesn't overheat as a result. That would not be very fun. They do have this in here though, but that is just for support. That is not meant as a cooling pad, I don't think. But it serves as one. It might serve as one for one of the chips, maybe. I don't know. Well, we'll see whether that causes any problems in the future. And yeah, I won't be deleting my old hard drive, so not anytime soon at least. And we're using a non-conducting tool to actually... This, by the way, I do have a framework laptop, yes. Very happy with that one. That's what's currently streaming. This is going to be painting it. Oh, don't forget to remove the film. Otherwise, the two chips on the underside won't be the only thing that won't be cooled properly. All right. Yeah, this is a pain in the behind. There we go. You don't wanna make these too. Ooh, yeah. Only very lightly tighten these, unless this is under some form of constant movement. You really want to do this very lightly. It doesn't need to be clamping down. All right. Let me clean up some of this stuff that is lying around here. This doesn't need to be here. We can move that to the side. You can go in there as well, so that you're not in the way. Good. This we don't need anymore, that we don't need anymore. That's all the prep work for this one done. Now this needs to be mounted in the new case. Well, I say the new case, its new case, my old case. For that, unfortunately, the old stuff needs to come out. If you're wondering where the graphics card is, you're going to see that in a moment. Is that a replacement for... Oh yeah, that's a replacement for the primary one. Okay. Let's move this one to the side. And let's get this boy up here. That is quite heavy. Thanks. All right. So this is the old one. It's not although it is the ancient one. Not quite ancient. It does have a GeForce RTX. Don't ask me which one. I checked whether I should get an updated version. The answer is no. It's not worth it. So what we're going to do is the graphics card is going to come out. This one is obviously going to... sorry, you don't see that. The power supply down here is going to stay in. This is going to come out. This is going to come out first. For those that are wondering why I'm not using a liquid-cooled CPU, I don't mind liquid cooling, but one of the most important things for the I don't want to say passively cooled elements, but the ones without fans on the main board is airflow. Now this is very nice for airflow. The tower that is new, less so. But it's still better than nothing, and nothing is exactly what you would get with a liquid-cooled one. So liquid-cooled and air-cooled aren't that much different in terms of actual cooling power to the CPU. They are different in terms of noise, and they are different in terms of, I don't even know whether they're different in terms of power usage. But they do remove a little bit of the airflow from the case. Not a lot, especially in this case. Like we have fans down here. Sorry, up here, over here, and I don't know how to show this. Down here is another one at the front of the case, out of frame. All of that makes for a very nicely cooled case, but it's not really something that I want to muck around with. By the way, I almost did a Vedal when I bought this. This just fit in here. It was my previous graphics card was a lot smaller. I bought this when the follow-up card was introduced, which made this very cheap. This is just an additional support that you have to put in. It doesn't use any slots, so there are slots below there. The new one, and as you can see, I don't use any of these slots down here. There's nothing in there, so that's good because I won't have those slots in the new main board. Let's remove the power first. Can I remove? No, let's remove. Yeah, no, let's remove the power first. And this one is, don't even know what you are. USB 3. Okay. We have that connector there, yes. Same, pretty much the same as before. There is a little bit of dust in here, but not a lot, to be entirely honest. It's mostly, funnily enough, in places where you wouldn't expect it. Like in here, for some reason. Like this is dust. So I'm gonna vacuum that up. Sorry about the noise. That is good enough. Alright, I do want this out of here as well, because it is in the way a little bit. You we're going to push out here. You we're going to push out, if I can get you. Yeah, this is one of the things that I don't like about this format. I would prefer that it would be a full ATX. This one, there's no support down here. The next screw is up here. There's a screw. Then we have a screw down here, straight down. And so this is basically in the air. And if you break this main board, it's going to be along this line. And having the power connector, which is one of the strongest connectors and one of the serious ones, sitting there is less than ideal. Because I'm now trying to get this out of there, and it's not easy. So that's going to be fun. Let me step over here and let's see whether I can. It is open. It's just not coming out. Well, this is going to have to say no. I'm joking. It does have to come out. It doesn't have to come out right now. I can get the graphics card out of there without with this still inside. I just didn't want to. As you can see, like, this arrangement is less than ideal, but this cage basically goes away. This is a multi-disc cage. I mean, I say it goes away. It's probably gonna remain in there, but I'm gonna use it differently. I don't think I will. I might have one SSD in there. I might leave one just for data. Possibly, potentially. I'm gonna have to check what is on which. Okay, do you do you mind? I had this out. Ah, there we go. That's what it was. I had this out before, I want to say, just as it came out. All right, I will get a different screwdriver. Well, these are some thumb screws, so I might as well just use my thumb for it. I will probably not use my thumb for it. And a 1 and a 2. Set a 2. Let's try that again. A 2. That is sitting much more rigidly than I expected. So yeah, I can take this one out before we put out the graphics card without damaging the graphics card, because this is meant for when the PC is standing up, which at the moment it isn't, so this doesn't do anything. Again, sausage fingers, come on. You wanna hold this up, by the way, because if that falls down there, that would damage the main board, definitely. Well, I mean, probably not, because it will fall down there, but the other side will, like the front, if that falls down, and it will fall down. That would not be nice. Also the screws, even if they're thumb screws, don't let them drop inside. It's not nice. This one we can also remove without much issue. And the last one as well. Because again, this is standing up right now. We don't have to worry about it won't fall over or anything. There's no force acting on it outside of that direction. It is a little bit heavier on the cooling side, but that is still supported by this bracket, even though it's loose now. Now, quite important, this is an old-fashioned one, so there is a little clip here which you have to push down. That will release the CPU, which will be fun, because this, as you can tell, is not quite laying flat because of the design of this case. Can I see this? And this back plate is obstructing this a little bit, so gotta be careful. Gotta be a little bit more careful here. Just check whether I'm missing anything. No, that should be it. This is quite dusty though. There's some trick to it that I forgot in the meantime. I mean, we have one here, so we can just check. No, it just has to be pushed down. All right, that's it. Really difficult to reach. You can see the board flex, which is not a good sign. It's less than ideal. Brings me to another question. How does this work on this one? Oh, it's that one. Ha! All right, I remember. Yeah. This is how this should be working. It's not how it is working. If you can't really get your finger in there, this is definitely not how it is working. This is getting really annoying now. Again, I'm not using a tool that is conductive. Good thing that I didn't. Yeah, okay, that should be loose. Is it though? Oh. Yeah, you might want to remove these. They stick out. I'm going to show you in a moment. If this actually can be removed, which, yes, no, maybe. You are open, okay. That's just a question of getting this out of there and getting it past that screw, apparently. All right. So where was this hanging on? The backplate sits right on top of there normally. So this backplate over here, and if these are sticking out, like which one was it? That one, I think. Like so. You won't be pulling that anywhere. I know it was up here. So yeah, the backplate sits right here, and then this doesn't get past it. So pull that out during installation and deinstallation, and you should be good. I'm going to leave that to the side for cleaning, because like the fans are looking, I mean, not pristine, but they're looking really clean. Because this was mounted this way down, if you couldn't tell. Like, that's a tuft of, yeah. I'm gonna... Again, I'm keeping away from the pins, I'm keeping away from the backplate. I'm gonna wipe this down with a towel, dry towel, not towel, something dry, again, dry. There's nothing wet coming near that. You could probably use compressed air, which I'm not sure that I have around right now. I might have to go fetch that later to get this properly cleaned. Or like so. I just want to say that also works. Which it did, technically. I mean, that looks a lot better, right? Doesn't look quite as grey. I mean, it still is grey, but not as dusty. I'm surprised how clean this looks, to be entirely honest. All right, next step. So we're currently using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. This had a lot of them. We still have one here left, and I have no idea what these are actually. Is that firewire or what is that? No clue, but there are more connectors. I'm not going to use all of these, primarily because this one only has 4 SATA connectors, all 4 of which I'm planning to use, again, on this cage. Not going to be... Oh, the 5th one was the CD-ROM drive. I do kind of want to keep that connected, so I'm going to be down to... I'm going to be down to 3 of those. I think that's okay. Yeah, I do believe that is okay. All right. Let's start disconnecting. This one needs to go. And we are cleaning a little bit along the way. The final clean we are going to do once this is uninstalled completely. The memory looks fine. This one is a case something or other. System fan, okay. It's not a fan. We're gonna have to put these a little bit further away because this is not where this one will end. This goes all the way back here. So we have to pay attention to that. All of these will be coming out. That's the M2 that we had, which is a crucial P5 Plus M2 2280, whatever that means. You are stuck in there. You aren't. Okay. Brilliant cable management. Yeah, a cable management like on something like this, where the case has a lot of stuff that you don't plan on using, where you have some additional things that you don't plan on using, like we've got an audio connector up here, which surprises me because I did use it and it did work. So I'm not quite sure where this is going to. Huh. This might be a different one. I might actually remove this part because I do not like using it the way that it is right now. I might keep it. We'll have to see. Alright, so this is all off. Yes, it is. Let's continue down here. We have the front audio. This is actually the case audio. That is the one that I was using. We've got a USB. This is USB 2.0. Which is surprising because that should be the USB 3.0, but I might be wrong. I'm gonna have to check that once we're done here. Huh. Does that go the same way as that stuff? No, that goes in here. Alright, well. Always surprising to see what stuff you did in the past. This is another fan. Yeah, that's the fan up top. Then we have this guy, which is the front panel connector. If you can get one of these. No, that's not the USB. That's another USB connector. I think that is the case USB that I have up top, which is unfortunately USB 2. I'm quite certain, so I'm surprised that this one says USB. Oh no, it has USB 2 and USB 3. Okay, so there should be another USB 3 connector in there somewhere. And this is the fun part. Because this did come as a packet. Which is bloody hilarious, because that is a standardized connector on almost all main boards, and some cases don't give you a standardized connector for it, so you have to muck about doing these like individually, which is a pain. This came with a connector for your connectors. You can still pull them out and do them individually if you want to, but they do come with an actual proper connector for it, which is great. This I'm gonna have to wipe down in a moment because that is not nice. Alright, I'm gonna have to vacuum. Yeah, I do have to vacuum this part. Okay. Good. Let's get this loose. And again, these ones, I never really put too much tension on these because why would you? It's not necessary. Yeah, this is now loose, so be careful about that. I'm going to put my thumb screws back in there. It will get back in there again, but just for the moment, so that these don't fall out if I do something. If I do anything weird or funny or who knows what. This one I already did, yes. There should be another one up here. Should be another one up here. Now there's one thing about this that I quite like, about the new one. It doesn't come with one of those freaking inserts. I'm going to show you what I mean in a moment. Yeah, if you can, on your screwdriver, use a magnetic one, because otherwise that might end badly. Oh, come on. You might want to use a stronger magnet. Or you might not, who knows. There it goes. Gonna have to look for that in a moment. I need some more case screws, I just realized, because this doesn't... I need another 1, 2, 3. Okay. And this should be easy to pick out now. So, one of the most fixed things on this is the CPU cooler. So I'm going to use that as a grabbing point. First of all, it doesn't care whether you touch it. It doesn't care whether there's any electrostatic, because that tends to be grounded. At the moment it isn't, because the case isn't grounded, but it tends not to do anything that is catastrophic if there is a little spark. And then I lift it up a little bit if I can, which I for some reason can't. There we go. It was still sitting something. I'll lift that out. Now, on this one, you can see here, all of these are not on a solid backplate, because the solid backplate... what do I do with this now? I just realized that I haven't prepared anything for this. Do it here, very carefully. The backplate for this is in here. You have to mount it in there, and then it fits in there, and then it sits in there. And this has been the case for decades, to be entirely honest. All of the old systems have this, except this new one doesn't. I'm going to show you in a moment. Well, once I've cleaned up this case and I've found the one screw that escaped. There it is. There it is. There it is. Come here, little bugger. Alright. So that is 6 screws. I need another 3. I'm going to go to my box of screws in a moment, and I'm going to come look for those. First of all, no, that's not worth it. Let's get you in here. That was right near the mic, I'm sorry. I do apologize, that was right near the mic. I need to be more aware of that next time. Okay. We're going to wipe that down as well. So some of the dust is clinging to things electrostatically, and that you just wipe off a little bit. I mean, this won't be a brand new case. We're not going to do a basic cleaning of this. If I did, I would have like pressurized air prepared for this, which I don't. Then I would clean this out properly. The one thing that I do want to clean out is this front, though. So there is a filter behind this, and I can't remember how to access it. Hang on. I want to say there's a filter behind this, so this might not be a filter, this might just be sheet dust. It is just a sheet of dust, okay. So there is a fine metal mesh filter behind this, which I honestly don't know how to get there. I probably will have to use something more high power, but it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to use something more high power later on. I can clean that once we're done with this. How does the power supply look? Astonishingly clean as well. Huh. Okay, well. That's how it is, that's how it is. So, now we need to get the new mainboard back in, connect everything up again. -1 SATA drive. And then we should be good. Screws, that's what I want to look at. So, oh yeah, then I remember the screws. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, that would not be nice. Because I don't want to mount the rest without having the actual screws installed. Doesn't look like I can put them here. I did the right type. Going to look it. I have to check. Definitely not. You're not. That's not. You're not. That's the wrong box. It looks like I don't have it. Oh no, there it is. Ah. There you are. Oh, put it down. There you are. Or are you? You're definitely screws, but you're not the right screws. You're also not the right box. I'm looking for that one. I think I might have to put that away. Further away, I mean. Than I was hoping for. Well. Okay, like that. Why did I put these two up here and the rest I put, that one I put away? That doesn't make any sense. Which brings me to the question, did I actually put that where I now think that I did? Did I put it somewhere else because I just cleaned it away, but not where I now expect it to be? Well, here, you're not there, you're not there. You're definitely not there. Surprisingly, you're not there. You're not here. Are you? No. Dang it. I think I might have put that somewhere else. All right. Change of plans. Those are the correct ones. I don't think in here are any screws that are relevant. No, definitely not. And no again. And you're not down below here either. No. Nothing that looks like the screws that I need either. Well, some of these should be fitting, so we're going to check those. Because I have some screws up here, but I don't think they are quite the correct ones. They might be good enough for the time being, so we're using the... Thanks. Nope, wrong size. Wrong thread. Wrong size and thread. and wrong thread. Oh, that's too bad. They might be the right thread. You're not the right thread. These are just not the right size overall. Are they? No, they're not. Okay. Well, nothing that can be done about that. I'll take a quick break. I'll go check where the screws should be. I'll get myself something to drink. And then we will be continuing in a few moments. Only a couple minutes. Until then. Alright. That was less than 10 minutes, because I did found the stuff that I was looking for. So, with that being said, these are the ones that we should be looking for, I think. Those are... These are case screws, but they have the other diameter, which is a bit not diameter, the other thread. I thought you were... Yeah, you're definitely not that thread. Are you fitting in here? Yeah, you are. Okay, so these I can use. Probably these are the ones that I should be using in the first place. They look like this. Alright, there's another one. Yeah. And seems to have been it, if I'm honest. We need one more. I think these would be fitting as well. Yeah, they're good enough. Right, a little bit of a mismatch that we're going to install now, but they will all be fitting. And that's the important part. So, a little bit of pre-done cable management on this one. First of all, we're going to remove the SATA cable that we're not going to use, which will be one of these. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are, yes, they are arranged in that order. We're not going to use all 4 of them. Is it just 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's number 5? Number 5 is over here, okay. So this one will go away. We don't need it. Yoink! So we have 1, 2, 3, and we have one coming from up top. We have one put through from externally, which we aren't going to use. What I want to have a look at, though, is whether I can find the USB 3.0. This is the audio one, which is not what we're looking for. This is the SATA throughput, which also we're not looking for. And now I'm starting to be stumped. So we got this one. That's a USB 3. Oh, that's a USB 3.0. Okay. So that was a USB 3.0 that we had there. Oh, all right. Let's put it in. Now, this one, as I said, we don't need to pre-install anything because this one comes with a plate on this side. So all we have to do is get this in here. Check that we don't have any cable in a place that they're not supposed to be, and then slide it in and be good. It's not quite where I need it to be. Let's get a couple of screws in and let's look where we are. So we're going to do easily accessible ones first. Well, oh, dang it. Remember what I said in the beginning, what we're not supposed to forget? When we install this, to pull this film off. Alright, film off, that should help a little bit. Okay, that should now sit. And it looks like it does, at least up here. That's the important part. I don't like how heavy these screws are for the screwdriver that I'm using, because that is causing some minor issues. I think I'm going to change that up for the other one, because that has a stronger magnet. And we need probably you. Yeah, that feels a lot better. Yeah, that is a lot better. All right. So So now we're adjusting this a little bit just to make sure that everything lines up properly. And we do that on these back screws and looking on the other screws, because we don't want to mess with that once we are in between the electronics. Here we're on the outside of the board, perfectly fine. And now this is on the board in between two. There's nothing that will move here. Everything's good. Yeah, I don't need to hold this. That's why I use the other screwdriver, so that I don't need to get my fat fingers in there. Not easily accessible, so we're not going to do you now. This is going to be one of the last ones that we're going to do. Now, I can't remember whether there was something in between here. I think you had to slot this in, which I did already. I can't remember whether that actually was the case or whether I'm just imagining this now. Right, almost done with this part of the process at least. Yes, you are magnetic, okay. Okay, so with that being done, there are a couple of things that we will have to pay attention to. We have a power supply up here, which we have to plug in. In fact, we have two power supplies up here, which we have to plug in. One I had before, so I need another cable for this. I'm gonna have to check that I actually have that readily available. Luckily, I didn't put that too far away from the last time that I had this in my... That is the wrong one, that is the Nestec. That is definitely the wrong one. Okay, I'm gonna need to find that stuff. That is gonna be fun. Where did I put those? Oh dear. That will be interesting. Alright, we will be installing everything else. Now we're going to have a look around for that last cable that I need. Which I'm not quite sure where I put that. There's a couple of places where I might have put it, but I think I'm going to find that fairly easily. But I will do that off screen. We're done with this stuff, so that can go away for now. Do I believe that might be up there? I hope not, because getting that down is a hassle and a half. Could be in there. Probably not in there. Could be in there. I'll do that later. Alright, for now let's connect everything else. So, now funnily enough, so previously I probably will still do this one last. I'll probably do, yeah, that's the one that I need to put in up in there, and then I need one more. Yeah, this one has an additional one. That will be fun, that will be fun, that will be funny. Okay, let's do it like this. You are the third one. Gonna go in slot 3. You are the first one. Gonna go in slot 1. Now, cable management wise, normally there's a lot less management involved because there's a lot less cabling involved. You wouldn't have like 3 SATA connectors and then also all of this stuff that I'm gonna have to reconnect now. You are a USB 3.0 connector. You're gonna go in here. Yes. That I have to move around a little bit. This is on the board itself, which has its own power supply, but that's it. This is gonna get controlled by the actual SSDs that are installed. If any, this goes away, that goes away. This is the one that I want to install. There it is. That's the one that I was looking for. And no, I'm not going to clean this up further. I'm just going to take this away. I mean, cable management wise, there is not too much value in trying to attach all of this. Some of it would be nice, most of it doesn't matter at all. This has become closer now, so that should be tucked in there as well. This again, don't need it, that don't need it. That is the one USB that I do kind of need. That came from down here, where I will put it again. this way around. Before I do that though, he says as he puts it in. So, fans. We have the top system fan. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right. I will use the actual instruction sheet for this because this will otherwise become a pain in the butt. Because none of these are properly labeled down there, which is great. All right. Let's have a look. CPU over SPDIF RGB header. Right. USB 2.0 headers. That's 2 down there. That's fine. Do I have any more? Well, I've got that one. So there is one more missing. Okay. This is this one. We should have another one. Yeah, it's down there. That's the other USB header. That was the correct way. So USB 2.0 done. HD audio. So they claim that will go in here. All right. So what's left is the multi-connector, and I don't think there's anything else. Well, the fans, which is what I actually was looking for. They've got a 3.2 gen controller, which I don't have yet. The Gen 1 header we have, the USB 2 headers we've done. SATA and M2 we did. Alright, there we go. Fan 1, fan 2, fan 3, fan 4. They're all PWM signals. So the AIO one is irrelevant, and the CPU fan and CPU opt, which are A and B, so that is the one that I should not be using because that's the optional CPU fan. But C is a chassis fan. No. What? What's A? Oh, A is the AIO pump. So that is the AIO pump. That is not the fan. So they claim. Oh, didn't I check earlier that this said... Oh no, it says... Oh god. Good grief. Seriously, guys. So, up here on the side, they've written AIO and CPU, but it's not really distinguishable. not really distinguishable. So that is not clear that it's actually something else. That's all the three that we have up here. We have a D fan over there, which I'm going to use for this one. That's going to be this one. That's going to be this fan. Then we've got another fan, and these are all down at the bottom again, so I will have to move that downward. So we're going to keep you down there where you were. We have one here. It's going to be you. And we have one here, which is going to be the one from the front, which is going... That has seen better days, I have to admit, which is this one. That fan there, that fan there, that fan there. All fans connected. Fantastic. See what I did there. And yeah. All that's left is the power connectors. What do they write about the... Ensure to connect the 8-pin power plug or connect both the 8-pin and 4-pin power plugs. So I don't need both, but I should use both. So I should be able to operate this without it, but I might want to use the second one, which is what I will do. So I will have a look around for that additional cable, which I know I have somewhere. I just don't know. I don't remember where. I don't quite remember where. I think it might be up in there. No, because I cleaned those out. No, I'll find it. It might actually be in one of these. Hope that, well, we'll see. All right, that's not interesting, that's not interesting, that's not interesting. CPU OV. Over voltage jumper, nope. Please CMOS, not interested. Front panel audio header already connected. SPDIF out, not used. System panel, there we go. So, give me this one, and I'm going to read it off and see whether it matches. So we have the LEDs are power LED is over there and is not connected, funnily enough. Why is the power LED not connected? Who knows? We've got the power LED, then the power button. Can't be right. We have the speaker. So that's the speaker, that's the power LED and power button, okay. That is the HDD LED, the reset switch. Oh, that's another power LED. And ground and negative, and these are not used. Okay, so it is like this. So we just push that on here and we should be good. Because this is the LED's power and speaker is up there. All I have to do is actually be able to get that in there. Of course I should have done first. As I previously said, I only have myself to blame. Oh, that's a bit of a problem. I can't use it because this is missing 2 pins in the middle. This only has 1 pin missing in the middle. That's what I was afraid of. So I actually do have to connect this myself. It's not what I wanted to do. All right. So this is the HDD LED which comes over there. Yes. Power LED, which, come on, don't be an ass now. Which is plus, which is minus. Plus is that one. The power switch. Which goes next to the power LED. Which is exactly the wrong way around. Get out of the way here. Probably will have to rearrange some of that cabling. This is white next to it. With the switch. No one cares in switches which way they are connected, to be entirely honest. And we have this guy all the way on the outside. Yeah, so for this one, the problem is the way that they are done. Tends to not be very nice. Oh, that is why. They have switched that over one, because they have the chassis intrusion on there. Well, that's stupid. Okay. Well, that should have been that. Let's rearrange a couple of things to actually have this done properly. Like, this is fine. This is, well, this is actually okay as well. This is barely acceptable. This is not really acceptable. Because we need space back here. So this has to go down, like the black one. The black cable does have to go down there. I'm not allowed to be in the way. That should be fine. We should be able to get that in here now. Alright. It's graphics card time. Graphics card time. Yeah. Alright, there we are. Why are you bent that way? SATA cable, you are not supposed to be bent that way. Go away. Alright, let's move you up here. I don't see shit, I don't see. Jack. But that actually looks good. I think we're in. We are in. Okay, good. Now all we need is those 2 thumb screws, and we need to then mount the support bracket as well. Then we fix up the power, and then it should in theory already start. If it can be believed. We will be adding the additional power cable. If it doesn't, I'd hope for the best then. I will probably even push in the power cable if it does work, because that's just the correct thing to do. They're already in here. We need those 2. I remember why I didn't like to do that. Ba 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 ba. The problem with magnetism is that it's a very fickle beast, as you can probably tell. I don't understand. The first one held perfectly, and this one is causing... What the f... What the actual hell is going on now? That one's gone. And that one just went. Don't know what you're playing at. It's not appreciated. Good grief. Okay, so first of all, big fan of magnetism, if you couldn't tell. Like, relying on it is a fucking bad idea. This is not working at all. Okay. This is just not that it breaks off, like this is just to support it a little bit. That should be good. That needs to be good enough. Alright. Power cables. This one first. Make sure that this one is in fact where it needs to be. And then we're going to go over here. And we're going to go in here. There we are. Now it does need to be properly connected, and you know that it is properly connected the moment that it does a certain noise. The problem with that is, on most things, this needs quite a bit of force behind it, and you really don't want to damage your main board. So you should be supporting it a little bit as best you can, in the hopes that this will be good enough. And this one hasn't clicked in yet. You can also see that it hasn't. Well, you probably can't, but I can. And that is because I'm pressing down in the wrong position. Because this is one of those divided connectors which were used for the short and the long form of this connector, of the plug. Problem with that is, if you push on both ends, this one is disconnected here, so you're not pushing down this one, so it doesn't actually go in. And you use way much force than you need to as a result, or you don't get it in at all. Both are very much, there we go. That has just clicked in. Both are very much options. I don't mind this being here. I really don't care. I gotta be honest. And these are not the VGA ones. This is the one that goes up here. This goes in this one. Make sure that it is aligned properly. It's not difficult to do. There was the snap in. And then we have these two, and they go in as well. And they are for the graphics card. And this time, unlike the last time that I did this, which has been a while, admittedly, I've done this before. And this time I'm going to remember that there's actually two connectors that I have to plug in, not just one. Yeah, last time I forgot one of these. fun figuring out why the CPU, why the computer wouldn't want to start. Okay. And that's technically it for the hardware. Now, normally how you could do this better is you have a backside connection here. So you would use this cable and you would go under the under this plate, and you would connect this from the other side. I might convince myself to do this, but to be entirely honest, this is functional. It's not pretty, but it is functional. At the moment, that's all I care about, because I'm already quite pissed that I forgot about the additional connector that I need here, and I will have to figure out where that goes, or where that has gone, I should say. You won't be seeing this turning on right now, because it won't be turning on. It might, but there's nothing installed here, so that's the main issue. I will have to transfer a lot of data for this, and this is something that I will need to do, and something that I plan on doing right about now. To be entirely honest, we've disconnected, like this one isn't connected, which is empty, and this one isn't connected, which has something. That's a 2 terabyte HDD. What's on this one? That's going to be interesting to figure out. And figure it out I will, because something is on there that I probably needed. Alright, that's it for today. I hope I'll see you soon. Not on Sunday, I can tell you that much. I will stream again on Monday if I get my PC going. Which hopefully that will happen. I might just connect this up the other way just to get this running for now and ignore the CD-ROM. Just have everything accessible. I think that's what I will do for now. So this one I'll disconnect, and I will connect this one down here again. For now, I will reconnect it once I've transferred everything. If only I could see. No, it's not that I'm blind. It's that this is built in a certain way. There we go. Okay, so once this is rearranged, once all the data is transferred, this CD-ROM will be reconnected, and I'll only have a bay with 2 disks in it. I could... That doesn't make any sense. I was thinking about getting a different bay for this that only has like 3 drives on it, and that is only SSD compatible, which should save a ton of space. But I'm not sure that I want that. Alright, so that's it for now. I hope whoever watches this in the future will have some fun with this. I will probably use some of these, some snippets from this in future videos, which is what this is actually meant for. So I'll see everybody then.